actually played. The Bucks won 118-89. Giannis had 28 points in 29 minutes. I will say, got to be fair. Bronny had 17 points in this game. 30 minutes, 7 of 10 from the floor, 2 of 4 from the three-point line, 1 of 1 from the free throw line, 17 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds.
First time he's had double digits.
Minus 36.
Minus 36 and plus minus.
Okay, I was going to, for someone that wants to spin things positively like you do, I mean, yes, that is fair, but I will say this. For all those people who have clowned on this young man, said, I could do what he could do out there. He stinks. You could not score 17 points in an NBA game. I don't care who was playing, who wasn't. Like, come on. And I'm not saying he's a superstar, and I'm not saying he's a star, and I'm not even saying he should be on the team. I think he should be in the G League. But he did find a way to score 17 points. So let's be fair and give him credit on that. Now, our buddy Jay Williams, ESPN college basketball and NBA analyst, was on First Take yesterday with Stephen A. and Molly, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN, and had this to say about the Los Angeles Lakers.
All you can do is control the controllables, right? Remember how we used to say that all the time? And what's uncontrollable right now is the way all these seeding things are going to play out over the next 14 games. I don't know. But I do know if I'm the Lakers, I'm chasing that 2 seed. I am avoiding OKC at all costs until we get to the Western Conference Finals. I'm also, depending upon where Denver is, I'm trying to avoid them too. So by securing a 2 seed, getting that home court, I think it's just not home court, it's the 2 seed in home court. To me, I think that gives me the best shot of getting to the NBA Finals. Because I'm not trying to play OKC. And actually, even though I know they beat Denver when the Joker and Jamal Murray were playing, I would try to stay away from that. I would rather have those 2 teams play and we meet the winner of that in the Western Conference Final.
Currently, the Lakers are 43-26. They're closer to the 5 seed than they are the 2 seed. The Rockets are 45-25. Not far away, obviously, from either one of them. Do the Lakers need to avoid the Nuggets or Thunder in the second rounds?
No, because the last 2 times the Lakers played the Nuggets when they had Bron and Luka in the lineup, they smoked them. So I ain't worried about the Denver Nuggets. I mean, you're talking about being in that 2 spot. Are you sure you want that 2 spot? Because it could be the Minnesota Timberwolves coming out of the play-in that you're going to have to deal with. Are you sure you want that? Are you sure? So I don't know if I'm going to go along with that logic, but I would say this. If I got a healthy Bron and I got a healthy Luka, I'm not afraid of anybody in the Western Conference.
Not even Jokic.
On any given night, I have the 2 best players in the conference, in the playoff field. On any given night, I got the best tandem. So I'm not worried about those teams per se. I would say that the Denver Nuggets are probably the most proven of the entire group, but I got proof of concept that I can go to work on those guys. And, oh, by the way, it's not like I'm at a coaching deficit because a couple of months ago, even Michael Malone admitted that J.J. Redick coached circles around him. So I don't know if I'm as fearful of the Nuggets as I would, as Jay Will alluded to. I think this is about the Lakers versus the Lakers. If they can be healthy at the right time, knowing that LeBron and Luka have already developed the chemistry, knowing that Luka is starting to get more comfortable with each passing week, I feel pretty good about the Lakers' chances. I know a lot of people aren't saying that they have the potential to go on a deep playoff run. I know about the defensive issues that they have from a personnel standpoint, especially in the front court. But, again, LeBron and Luka, on any given night, any given opponent, I've got the best tandem on the court. I'll roll with that.
I'm glad you used the word fearful because that's what I want to drill in on here. I understand from where we sit looking at best matchups and saying, oh, maybe it's best to avoid Oklahoma City because they've been unreal this season with 57 wins. And Jokic is so dominant, proven, been there, done that. Yeah, maybe that's not a matchup that they would want. But do you think that LeBron James is fearful of anybody? Do you think Luka Doncic, who at 25 took the Mavs to the finals last season, should be fearful of any team? And even though Denver has Jokic and they've been amazing and been there, done that, if I'm the Lakers, shouldn't I think that I could beat them? Same thing with OKC. They've been unreal this entire season. They've been dominant as well. But they're still young and unproven. If I'm Luka and LeBron and J.J. Redick, who's one of the most competitive people out there, shouldn't I not care who my opponent is as we get into the playoffs?
You brought up an interesting question. First of all, yeah, I agree. I don't think LeBron's afraid of anyone, obviously. Like, at 21 years in or whatever it is, like at this point in his life, no, he's not afraid of anyone, obviously, in basketball. That said, if you had to make up in your head, what team would he be, quote unquote, afraid of? I think it's Golden State.
It's Steph. It's Dre.
Keep going.
Playoff Jimmy.
I think, yeah. I mean,
huge block by Jimmy last night to win the game. Huge.
huge everything. He's amazing. 16 points and triple-double. That guy's unbelievable at basketball. But that would be the one team that I would say. You know, it's interesting, though. If you look at the Western Conference, because you were saying, are we sure they don't want to avoid Minnesota? And then I'm looking through this, and I'm like, if we were to play a game of make a case for, meaning glass half full on every one of these teams, there are so many teams in the Western Conference that I would say, you know, maybe if this happens, if that Warriors are easy to make a case for. Like you say, avoid Minnesota. You may be right. What about the Clippers? They have the second best coach in the conference behind Steve Kerr, Ty Lue, in my opinion. They have as good of a playoff proven performer when healthy, which I understand how big of a when healthy that is.
That's the easiest disqualifier.
Of course, but if it's a glass half full approach with all of these teams, I mean, there is no obvious seed. We could say, avoid Oklahoma City. Fine, avoid Denver. There's no obvious seed.
Yeah, I couldn't make a case for Houston or Memphis to get to the NBA Finals. I don't think I could do that. Pretty much anybody else. Yeah, I would say I would disqualify Houston, Memphis, and the Clippers. I could see any of the other top 8 teams making a run to the NBA Finals. I think it's possible.
I could not see Minnesota. Not at this point. Not at this point. But again,
I mean, they were in the Final Four last year.
Yeah, and they may have gotten worse here. Right? I mean,
we don't know. We haven't seen their team healthy.
By the way, we
don't know.
After the season, we may look at that Cat, Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo trade
very differently
and say both teams got worse.
Yeah.
You could make that argument.
You could make that argument. We could also look at it the other way and say, this fits better with what Anthony Edwards is in the postseason. We could look at it that way too. We just don't know because we haven't seen them on the court together.
Yeah.
So let's give this thing time to bake. Let's see what Chris Finch does over the next month and a half because they could surprise us. And they are one of the hottest teams in the Western Conference.
All right, coming up. There's a little bit of kick them while they're down going on in the NFL, but not before I do.
You guys can react to the rejoins. However, there are times that you guys spend most of that time when we're playing the rejoin having conversations in your talkback, which cuts out what is being played where you don't hear it. And in that cut, there was a great line that the announcer used, which was Drake couldn't beat Kendrick, but they could beat Missouri, which you guys didn't hear because you guys were having a full-on, blown-on conversation.
Okay, that is fair, but...
Well, let's not bury the lead. The rejoin was about me winning the Player of the Day yesterday.
God.
I mean, that's what it was. That's the only reason it matters.
Making the people some money.
Exactly. Drake was plus 210 to pull off the upset yesterday. People came through. $100 to make 210. That's a great way to get your weekend started, ain't it?
No doubt.
Hello.
I should have played it.
And by the way, Evan, Canty and I had a convecation this morning that said we're just going to air everything out today if need be.
Oh.
We're just
We're gonna go full Breakfast Club. That's what we're gonna do.
Well, did you want to tell Smalls and I that or no?
Yeah, wow.
I mean, if you guys were in the meeting or in studio